We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Nick. We recently discussed the announcement of the $5,000 Emotiva preamp. We did? Was I not? I wasn't on that day.
That might have been Lee and James.
All right. That will supposedly process 7.3.6 Atmos. Until they start shipping the products, we will likely assume it is vaporware, which is true.
Yeah, that's Emotiva.
That's us. We will believe it when we see it.
You know that Emotiva saw that HDMI 2.1 thing and they're like, oh, well, we got to wait for that now.
Yeah. Yeah. However, if this were available today, would the chips in Blu-ray players even be able to take advantage of the extra Atmos channels? Aren't they all limited to a max of 7.1.4?
Oh, there are no channels.
They are zero channels. It is object-based. So they give you...
there are channels.
Well,
there's the floor
base level,
channels.
yes, the base level. But it is object-based, which means that they give you coordinates, and then your receiver determines, via its processing and which speakers it knows it has, how to best put that sound in that space. So the discs are immaterial at this point. It's the metadata and the coordinates.
Yeah, so I mean, there are the bed layer. There technically is a 7.1.2 channel bed, so they can actually put like an overhead channel if they want to, and that'll use whatever you got up there. If you only have 0.2, if you have 0.4, if you have 0.6, whatever it is, it'll play it out of all of them, just like it would a bank of surround speakers.
Right.
So there is such a thing as an overhead channel, but that's it for channels. The rest is objects, which, like Tom just said, it's coordinates, and whatever speakers you have. If you had 9.1.6, like I would prefer and hope that you can configure this thing to do, then it'll say, hey, do you have objects in the floor level speakers that should be coming out of a front wide speaker? Let's put it in a front wide speaker, because you said that you got one in 9.1.6. Is there a sound that should be coming from above and slightly in front of you? Well, you said you had 0.6, so there's a top front and a top middle. We'll mix it into both and try to get it to come from in between, because it's supposed to be slightly in front of you, not all the way to where the top fronts are.
Right.
So yeah, there's a renderer inside of the pre-pro, and that's what's taking that coordinate data and using whatever speakers you tell it that you have to try and make the sound come from those coordinates.
Honestly is what's so exciting about object-based audio, is that it takes the channels away and makes it with the coordinates. We can upgrade our numbers of channels, our receivers and stuff, and our discs no longer are obsolete. We don't have a disc that says, we stick it in and it's like, what would you like to have, 5.1 DTS master audio or 5.1 DTS master audio in French, or 2.1 you have a crappy receiver channel. No, it's Atmos, boom. It's object-based, You're good to go. So it's great.
You could theoretically go all the way up to 24 floor-level speakers and 10 overhead speakers. The exact same soundtrack off a Blu-ray disc will still play out of that.
Yeah. So Nick was recently listening to a Home Theater Geeks episode where the amp designer from THX, did not know they had one, was discussing the new THX Achromatic?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with
Achromatic.
Which makes absolutely no sense. Audio amplifier technology, TM for trademark, and the benchmark AHB2 2-channel amplifier with a cost of $3,000. They make some major claims, and the specs look impressive, but will it actually sound better than, say, an Emotiva XPA3? Can we talk about the THX AAA design, Achromatic Audio Amplifier design? What do we think about it? I thought that I went to this website and had to search really hard to find them talking anything about this AAA. And this is what it says on their website. Introducing THX Achromatic Audio Amplifier technology. The AHB2 is the only amplifier that leverages the patented THX AAA technology. This patented system reduces distortion to vanishingly low levels while enabling several power-saving techniques. Quote, I'm not even going to say this quote. This is just from some reviewer jerk off. So that's all they say about it. I'm like, okay, so it reduces distortion and saves power. sounds like a Class D amplifier to me, to be
Oh,
honest
but
with
it is
you.
not.
I know,
It is not.
but I mean, it's with it doesn't really sound like they're doing anything all that amazing that hasn't been done in other ways. So you want to tell us what the power with this thing is? Because I had a heck of a time finding anything on their website about it.
Yeah, so basically most other, because this is a Class AB amplifier with a Class H power supply. That's one
Okay.
of the switching continuously variable power supplies. So that's how it's more
Right.
efficient, because it's not just one single linear power supply always spitting out that power no matter what. But with pretty much all other Class AB amplifiers, whether they use a linear power supply or a switching power supply, they rely on feedback, right? They get a feedback signal and they use that to correct any errors. So here's the signal that ought to be going out. Here's a feedback loop that tells us what actually went out. And if there's a difference there, then we need to correct that, basically feeding it through a capacitor bank until it's filtered out of there. That's how almost all other amplifiers work. This THX Achromatic audio amplifier is basically two amplifiers. It sends it out of one smaller amplifier first, uses the feedback from that to correct and feed a second amplifier. Therefore, the second amplifier should be getting the cleanest possible signal. It's already pre-corrected, right?
Okay.
So you're not getting feedback from the output stage. You're getting one amplifier stage, correcting that, and then using that to feed a second amplifier stage. That's why it's achromatic. It's happening out of sync, right? It's two stage. So they call that like feed forward instead of feedback. It's not really. It's two amplifiers, one after the other.
Okay.
That's what it is. But they do manage to get exceedingly high signal to noise ratio. Right? They're up at what is 138 dB or something like that. Signal to noise ratio. It's really, really high. Now, if you look at what are basically the best Class AB amplifiers that are out there, which are like the ATI signature amplifiers, they have a two-channel one that costs $3,000. It's Class AB, and its signal-to-noise ratio is about 128 dB. So, by all accounts, this thing is even. It's got an even lower noise floor and even better signal-to-noise ratio for about the same price. Now, the difference is this benchmark one is 100 watts per channel, and the ATI one is 200 watts per channel, both into an 8-ohm load. But same price, both of them extremely good signal-to-noise ratios, but this is even better. This is something that even ATI couldn't achieve in a Class AB amplifier, so I'll give them credit for that.
Okay.
But it's not super powerful. For $3,000 for two channels, you're only getting 100 watts per channel, so...
But it's very clean.
It's very, very clean.
Yeah.
So what this would be excellent for would be extremely high efficiency speakers.
Yes. That don't
Because
need very
extremely
much power
high efficiency
anyways.
speakers, yeah, right. But they will also give you any hiss, right? If your amplifier is producing any noise floor hiss, if you have speakers that are 98, 101 dB efficient at 1 watt, you'll hear any hiss that's there. You connect one of these amplifiers to it, there's no hiss, and then you don't need more than 100 watts because you got some crazy super efficient speakers. So there's absolutely a reason to have an amplifier like this.
Yeah. There you go.
That's what I think.
I think that anything that there is it's a thing. It is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
This is not this. They're not selling you words, which many high-end amplifiers are selling you. They put some real technology in there. So for that,
Oh, yeah.
fine. Nick wanted to play Spotify in his kitchen for background music. He tried his Apple TV Gen 3, but it had a very unreliable connection to his router that dropped out every 15 seconds and died whenever the microwave was on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty typical, dude. I was watching YouTube while I was making lunch. I turned on my microwave. Video went into the microwave, went off, and then it came back. There you go. So he tried a Chromecast audio, which worked great, but for some reason you need a Spotify premium account when using the Chromecast audio. And for just background music, he's willing to pay the monthly fee. The regular Chromecast works well, but only has an HDMI output, so he's looking for something that can convert the HDMI audio to optical or stereo on analog audio. He just wants to know if there's a converter for around $15 or less. The ones he's seen are $25 to $35, and it seems silly to spend as much on a converter as a Chromecast itself. So do we have any ideas?
So all the ones that I normally recommend are $35.
Yeah. I know.
I saw some on Amazon that were $25 that looked fine. But yeah, I get what you're saying. The only ones I could find that were down at this type of price were off of eBay. I have no idea if they're any good.
So he needs optical or whatever. Dude, use your phone. Use your phone.
No, but the problem is connecting the Chromecast to his speakers.
No, use his phone to stream Spotify and plug his phone into his speakers.
Oh, just plug the headphone jack directly into your speakers?
Yeah, why not? He's already using either optical or stereo analog, right? Just have a cable hanging out with 3.5 millimeter. Pop it in whenever you want to listen to it. Bob's your uncle. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean,
I guess
that's the easiest, cheapest solution. It's a cable.
But what if he needs to walk out of the kitchen with his phone?
Well, he has a problem then, doesn't he? Hey, $15. I'm trying to think if there's a $15. There is no $15 HDMI anything. That doesn't exist.
Pretty much. I mean, like I say, that they do exist on eBay. I have no confidence in saying they're at all reliable.
Yeah,
I don't know. They might be fine.
I can't. Nothing's coming to mind.
I mean, it's $25. I mean, it is when you only spent $30 on the Chromecast. But
I know.
Dayton has that Wi-Fi adapter, but then again, I don't know if the Wi-Fi connection on that thing will be rock solid either. Yeah, I don't know. We can't give you a really good answer, unfortunately, because I mean, like $25 for an HDMI to optical adapter is not like egregious. I'm not looking at that and going, "Oh my goodness, they're raking you over the coals."
Yeah.
It's just the Chromecast is so inexpensive that comparatively it seems.
I
like
got nothing, dude. I'll be honest with you. If it were me, I'd just go with the cable. I'd just go with the cable. Maybe you got an old phone. Do you have an old phone just lying around that you don't use anymore, that the screen's all cracked or whatever, but can still play Spotify? You charge it and you plug it into this thing, and every time you want to listen to Spotify, you press a button. I know I've got.
Or when you upgrade your phone, because you eventually will.
Yeah.
You just leave the one phone.
All right, Nick's got a story we might just enjoy a little bit. We will see. While in Best Buy recently, Nick overheard a sales associate describing the benefits of curved TVs to some customers. This ought to be
LG doesn't believe you. They're like, nope, no more curves for us.
Yeah. The salesman said, "I like the curved screens. In fact, I own one myself. Here's what I like. Look at the television straight on. Now look at it off to the side. Notice how the picture looks the same right in front of it or off to the side. Now look at the flat screen television. See how it looks different off to the side? Also notice how there's no glare on the curved television off to the side, but on the flat television, there is glare." The customers nodded their heads and said, "Yeah, you're right. That's cool. Get me away from this crazy person." After they walked away, Nick compared the two TVs on and off axis and found the opposite to be true, because apparently he is not influenced by the words of crazy salespeople. The curved one appeared to have more of a distorted shape off axis and also had more glare than the flat one, but maybe he wasn't doing it right.
No, you were doing it
You're
fine.
doing it just fine, dude. Nothing angers me more than seeing a curved screen as I'm walking through it. So I actually drove by somebody's house, and their blinds were pulled up, I guess, whatever, pulled, and they had a flat screen, curved screen. It was like this rich apartment complex that's downtown St. Pete, and I could see they had a curved screen, and I could see like a little bit of their picture, like peeking out from beside the other one, and then just see the curve on it. And I am literally, I'm on the street, so I'm like, I don't know, 50 feet away or something like that. And I'm like, how can you watch that garbage? What's wrong with you people?
These new LG W7 wallpaper OLEDs that everyone was talking about at CES. Well, a lot of people were like going up and just like putting their finger behind the corner, and they could actually like bend the screen quite easily because it's so super skinny. I'm like, so wait a sec, what if your wall has like a little curvature in it? Like, you're gonna have a wavy screen. I'm like, there is a point where you've gotten too skinny. It's too skinny now. I don't want a wavy screen because my wall is not perfectly flat. That's no.
But think about that refrigerator you could stick it on. That would be awesome. I'm sorry, dude. Just think about that. Don't open the refrigerator while I'm watching TV. I mean, that's what you have to say. It covers the whole front of the thing. 65 inches. Want your question answered? Send it to question at avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.